Alright, so what do we got here? Let's see if this level thing works. Alright, awesome. The animation works. And everything turns on properly. What about the field balls? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They do not spawn. That's great. Alright. Oh, there they go. Never mind. Never mind. I was wrong. And they are all spawning correctly. How about it? Howdy guys, it's Jakegel the Eagle back at it again with another Punch-A-Ball devlog. Today's episode is all about refinement. What we're going to be doing here is refining levels 1 through 10, making them much easier to complete, and we will be following a list of refinement measures provided by my friend Atomics, which I mentioned in the last video, and making the first world level selector themed. Then, if we have time, we will start working on World 2 and the theme for its levels. So without further ado, don't forget your coffee, and let's get started. For level 1, I just wanted to make it vanilla balls and field balls. This will introduce the concept of how the basic game is supposed to work for the player and give them a taste of how specialty balls work and what they can do using the field ball spawners. What I did in this case was disable the other spawners in levels 1 through 10, and then add the ball keeper function for the field spawners. That way the player has to keep hitting the balls to win. However, if they hit them too quickly, they'll have to wait till they spawn back. In the meantime, I also started working on the UI for the time remaining, the actual time itself, the score, the high score, and the number values for each. I had actually neglected to do this before because I got caught up busy with other things in the last vlog, so I just kind of ignored it. But for this one, I decided, okay, today's the day. I need to change the UI for the score and high score. I need to adjust everything for every level, and eventually I did. Then it was on to the scripts. So what I tried to do here was make the same script I had for the vanilla ball spawners onto the field ball spawners, so it would have the same type of management system that the actual field spawner had, that the actual vanilla ball spawner had, I mean. But what I later discovered though was that when I did that, it would spawn 10 balls just like the vanilla spawner would. Why didn't I think of that before? And that wasn't gonna work. So in the end, I had decided just to go ahead and make the field spawners run their original script just like they were intended, and leave the regular vanilla ball spawners to run the management script that I had before. Okay, I have completed the scripting I needed to do, and something very interesting happened. This time, the gameplay seemed to be a lot less chaotic. However, I lost by almost 30 points, which is far lower than I ever got in the more chaotic version. And I think the problem was with time. You see, when I added my specialty balls, the tiny balls and the sniper balls would add time to the clock. The sniper ball would add 5 seconds, while the tiny balls added 1 second. And on top of that, I had at least 10 tiny balls on screen whenever they spawn in. So now that we just have the vanilla balls and the field balls here that have no time bonuses attached to them, it seems to me that making the goal of 100 within a certain amount of time would be a lot harder to do. And I was right. In this case, I see 3 ways we can go about fixing this. 1. Now that I have the gameplay theme set, I can go through Atomics' list to see if the balls become easier to get, thus eliminating the need for a time bonus at all. 2. Add in a function and a game object where at random points are given a ball with a time bonus, like every so often you hit a vanilla ball and it'll give you 2 seconds on the clock. 3. Just lower the score. I think I'm going to pause on this one simply because it's just too easy of a fix and not very interesting. So in this case, let's go ahead and start with the Atomics list for now and see what we can do to come up with. Okay, so here's what Atomics was talking about when he suggested the ideas to make the game easier. 1. Slowing down the ricochet speed. When he says this, I'm pretty sure he means bounciness, so what I'm going to do is go into my bounce physics material and either lower the actual bounciness or increase the friction on it. 2. Lower the timer. This is kind of like one of the easy fixes that I just mentioned with lowering the actual score. However, it does give a little bit more intensity as you play, and the levels will actually decrease time as they go on. 3. Add balls that subtract from the player's score. He suggested adding a ball that would actually detract from the score that you already have, forcing the player to actually think about where they're hitting and try to hit the most low-hanging fruit balls that are away from this type of ball. So let's go ahead and get going on trying all of these things out to see what we can come up with. So the first item on the list seems easy enough, as all it requires is a modification in the inspector. I experimented with both the ball speed and the bounciness to try to figure out what atomics meant. However, I'll let you know what I come up with. I'm pretty sure he meant the actual bounciness, but we'll see. So it took a minute, but I think I came up with a combo that suits the end result quite well. Unfortunately, I couldn't just lower the bounciness or the ball speed all that much, because whenever I did, balls would end up just not bouncing at all. They would all pool up at the bottom, which is the opposite of what I'm going for here. I was able to bring the actual ball speed down from 10 to 6.5, which is quite a bit. However, with the regular bounciness, it's pretty much just the old version of the game. And that's when I had the brilliant idea to add friction. I added just a smidge of friction to the physics material I was using, and it turns out it was just enough to make sure the balls don't go too crazy. So the next item on the agenda was working on the timer script and taking down the time to make the level more interesting, and also sort of start figuring out how to decrease it each level. And here's how I calculated the timer script. What I did is play the game normally with the required 2 minutes that I already had, and then when I reached 100, I looked at how much time was left and then removed that from the allotted time. With this, I shaved off 15 seconds. So what's next then? The next step is to go through all the level.
Hey man, what's up? How's it going? What you doing?
Dude, what the heck? I'm recording.
Oh, come on. Can't I, as a brother, come in and check on you?
Yeah, I guess you're right. What's up? Okay. So anyway, at this point...
So what you working on?
Just working on Punchball, dude.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So anyway, I started working on the animations, and
Hey, can I have some coffee?
Dude, I still haven't finished my cup yet.
But I haven't had one yet at all. Please, big bro.
Fine.
Sweet, thanks, man.
Alrighty. When I was working on the animation...
Actually, can I have yours too?
Oh, that's it. Okay, now that that's out of the way, what would be the next steps? The next step would have to be go through all the levels, disable all the other spawners, and then change the values to what level 1 has. Then I will continuously remove the allotted time through each level and play through them, just to make sure that they're alright. Quick update. While I was working on the levels, I decided to go ahead and just add in the death balls, or balls that would remove score when you actually hit them. As said earlier in the video, this would force players to strategize where to hit to make sure their score isn't removed. And it worked pretty dang well. I had to copy over the original version of the vanilla ball spawner before I added the function to control the ball flow. Now, every so often you will see them appear, instead of just appearing whenever there's less than a certain amount. Okay, so after that, I was also doing some UI work, and I came across the famous balls not destroying issue. So from there, I investigated the issue and did the same thing I did last time I had it, where I commented out the code that called the score manager, and after that, the balls would destroy. So once again, I knew that there was an issue calling the score manager. With things being said, the script this time was perfect for sure. I went over and checked it 3 or 4 different times. Remember when I said this?
Alright, I swear, if I don't find a more simple solution to these problems, then I'm gonna die.
Well, this time I did find a simpler solution. It turns out in my score text in the inspector, the game objects that I had written in my code were not assigned when I copied and pasted them over. So once I had them reassigned, everything was taken care of and fine again. And after that, I had taken care of essentially what is the core gameplay for World 1. Now all I had to do was go through each level, make it more difficult, and it would be ready to go. For now, I took a quick break from Unity so I could quickly do some music in the level selector, since I was running out of time before I had to go to work anyway. Though it would be cool and funny to have the Nintendo anti-piracy self-reporter music on there, which I may or may not have done. I need my own music. And that is pretty much it for devlog 6, and yeah, this video was way late. This time when I was developing, I had encountered a great many issues while working on this, and I hadn't been able to properly play test everything up until recently. I did get to stream a lot of the development process though on Twitch, however I didn't record a lot of the footage of it, which I need to get into the habit of. While we're on that, yes, I do now have a Twitch account, and I'll be streaming more punchball and game related stuff here in between game development and YouTube. I've already streamed a couple of dev streams on there, and I've already played a couple of games, so go ahead and check out my Twitch, Eagle the Eagle. I will leave it in the description. And I think I'm going to end up ending this devlog here. Actually, I will end this devlog here, because it has taken me forever to solve this one issue that I'm having. At the time that I had actually written this part of the script, it was Thursday, so I was already 2 days late. It is now the following Monday. I should have had a video out last week, but I ended up being really late. But devlog 7 will actually be covering me solving that particular issue, and there will not be a devlog 6 part 2. This is devlog 6, and this will only be devlog 6. And the next video will be devlog 7. So guys, if you like what I do, if you like these videos, if you like seeing Punchball and me working on it, please leave a like and subscribe, and give me some comments on things that I could do to help make the game better. Any feedback will be greatly appreciated. And while you're on that, go ahead and check out my social media links. I have a Facebook page now, I have an Instagram, and as I said, I have a Twitch, and I will leave all those in the description. So share these videos with people that you know. Leave a like, subscribe, and share them with people, man. So, as always, do not forget your coffee. Eagle out.
you.